Okay, next we will look at ionic product. So it is QSP. Okay, and then so previously the term Q ni kita dah tengok dekat chapter 6 when we compare Q dengan K. So when we compare Q and K, pasal kita ada buat pacman kan, smaller than, bigger than, kita buat pacman ni Okay, ini to determine the equilibrium, whether shift to the left or shift to the right. The same goes for Q ni, tapi dia spesifik lagi. Sebab yang ini spesifik whether precipitate form or not. So sebab tu dia kata ni to predict precipitation. So again, K must be specifically in equilibrium, while Q tak semestinya dekat equilibrium lah. It could be at any point. Okay, so again kita tengok dekat sini. Okay, first case kita akan tengok. Okay, so when QSP is smaller than KSP, so it means that it will shift to the right. Okay, so the reaction will shift to the right. So bila dia shift to the right, what would happen adalah, maksud dia sebenarnya akan form yang forward reaction ni lah. So what would happen? Yang solid ni akan berkurang, but concentration of M plus dengan A minus ni akan increase. So here I'm just gonna write down the concentration of the ion increase. So what would happen adalah the solution is unsaturated. Sebab ion dia lebih banyak lagi. So that's why it's unsaturated. So bila banyak aqueous ni lagi, kalau tak kita nak in equilibrium kan, maksud dia maximum concentration of yang ini. Tapi this solution is unsaturated sebab the shift to the right form aqueous, so it's considered as unsaturated, hence no precipitation occur. So more salt should be dissolved to increase the ion concentration. So sebab itulah kita nak increasekan salt ni lagi supaya Q kita tu high, and it will be K ni same as Q. Okay, next kita tengok is actually when the Q is equal to K. So it means that the solution is saturated and the equilibrium will exist between undissolved solid salt and its dissolved ion. Okay, sebab dia dah concentration tu dah maximum, so it's constant. So it means that the equilibrium akan exist, and then it will no precipitation juga occur. So bila dah solution dah maximum, no precipitation lah. Okay, and last part we're gonna look at when Q is bigger than K. So yang ini kita buat pacman, they shift to the left. So the equilibrium will shift to the left. Equilibrium will shift to the left here. So contohnya, I'm just gonna write down equation kat sini lah. Contohnya MX solid belum jadi M plus aqueous tambah X minus aqueous. So kenapa kita banyak guna denote unknown tu jadi M ni? Sebab M ni maksud dia metal lah. Sebab metal kan banyaknya dia donate electron, so dia plus. Yang X ni selalunya halide ion group 17, dia minus sebab dia accept one electron to achieve octet. Okay, so when the reaction will shift to the left, so what would happen adalah solid ni banyak form lagi, but then concentration of our ion ni akan decrease sebab mostly is being used to form our solid. So the concentration we consider decrease, and the solution, sebab banyaknya when most of a solid is formed, the solution tu akan consider saturated. Kita akan cakap the solution tu is super saturated. And then when it's super saturated, it means that mostly dalam solution tu ada solid. So that's why precipitation form. So sebenarnya kalau if question ask for will it form, so kita kena compare lah Q and K. So once we compare, barulah kita tahu is it occur or not, precipitation occur or not. So as you can see, it only occur when Q is bigger than K. Okay, let's have a look at example 1. Dia bagi dua solution. Dia kata will precipitate form. Okay, so it's given to you KSP, kita akan cari QSP for our calcium sulfate. So I'm just going to write down the equation of dissociation. Okay, we're going to form our ion. Okay, so how we're going to find out the concentration ni? Is calcium ni from our calcium chloride, sulfate from our sodium sulfate. So I'm just going to write it down. Okay, kenapa Miss cakap dia adalah from this solution? Okay, because when I write down contohnya dissociation equation ni, we will get this one. Kan? From our calcium from calcium chloride ada formation calcium, sodium sulfate ada form sulfate ion. Okay, so here I'm just going to write down QSP is the concentration of our aqueous. So sekarang ni kita kena carilah the concentration of the aqueous, of the ion. Okay, so here I'm just going to write down the equation, the information for the molarity of calcium chloride as well as the volume. Okay, and then solution ni is mixkan dengan sodium sulfate. Okay, so this is the information. And then we know that, okay, when it's mixed, volume dia akan mixkan dua ni. So the new volume is 750 ml. So sekarang ni kita kena cari the new concentration lah of our ion. Sebab sekarang ni our volume is different. So sama juga kita akan guna M1V1 equal to M2V2. So we will get the concentration of our calcium chloride CaCl2 this is the new concentration lah when the volume adalah 750. So next untuk sodium sulfate. Okay, so this is the new concentration of our sodium sulfate. Okay, jap. Okay, so then we know the new concentration. So I'm just going to write down lah. This is my concentration of calcium. So sebab yang ini yang Miss nak masukkan in my QSP. So yang ini Miss this conclusion from the calculation. Okay, sodium masukkan di sini. Sodium calcium as well as our sulfate. So I'm just going to substitute the value straight away. Okay, and then we get our QSP is this value. Okay, so sekarang ni bila ditanya will it precipitate form, we're going to compare Q dengan K. So I'm just going to write down the value masing-masing. Okay, and then I'm going to compare. Is it smaller or bigger? And then we know that Q is bigger. Kita buat Batman. Dia akan shift to the left. So I'm just going to write down so we know that the reaction will shift to the left to achieve equilibrium lah. Actually, what would happen? Okay, and then Miss nak copy paste ni tak perlu pun untuk kamu buat, but here just to show it to you. So maknanya bila kita shift to the left, maknanya reaction akan form banyak salt tu lagi. More solid is formed, hence precipitate form. Okay, next example 2. Okay, so kita tengok dia bagi KSP, kita cari QSV for magnesium hydroxide. Okay, so how I'm gonna do it. Okay, so first Miss tulis dulu the equation. So Mg magnesium hydroxide is Mg2 plus dengan OH minus. Make sure it's balanced OH2 it's 2. Okay, so sekarang ni kita akan cari magnesium from MgCl2, OH from sodium hydroxide. Okay, tapi sebelum apa-apa, QSP kita is Mg2 plus dengan OH minus to the power of 2 based on your coefficient. Okay, so here I'm just going to find out the new concentration of magnesium chloride dengan sodium hydroxide. Magnesium chloride 0.01 molar, volume dia 150, and we have our sodium hydroxide 0.001 molar and 50 ml. So the new solution is 200 ml. Kita akan cari the new concentration when the volume is 200. It's mixed already. So we get 7.5 exponent negative 3 sodium hydroxide. Kita akan dapat pun kita kena cari juga the new concentration. Okay, so from here I'm just going to write down. So maknanya the concentration of the magnesium chloride yang baru, which is kita nak tengok specifically adalah pada magnesium 2 plus tu, because that is used for our QSP. So So the new concentration is this one. Okay, next adalah the new concentration of hydroxide. Okay, so concentration of hydroxide, kita akan buat 1:1 ratio. So walaupun dia 2 kat situ, 2 is only used for your QSP tu. Concentration tak perlu darab 2. Okay, so next we're just going to substitute the value. Hence, we will get our QSP is equal to okay, so we get the answer. Now what we're going to do adalah compare the QSP with KSP. Okay, so sekarang ni kita compare. And we know that it is bigger. So bila dia bigger, dia akan shift to the left. So again, equilibrium will shift to the left to shift equilibrium. Yang ini mesti buat step by step. Sebenarnya nak tahu dia precipitate ke tak kan. So maknanya more solid akan form lah. Or the precipitation occur. Okay, so you should try yourself.